Okay, kia ora and welcome everybody. I am Tupo. I just thought I'd just do a little bit of an introduction about who I am and why maybe you're here. I created Freedom Reclaiming Sovereigns. If you'd like to just mute, that'll be great. I created Freedom Reclaiming Sovereigns just about 2 years ago as I started learning about sovereignty, learning how to protect not just myself, but my tamariki and my whānau, because I just saw, an imminent threat of harm coming to my whānau, to our people through the medical, healthcare system and through the governments. And so I wanted to learn how I can protect my whānau. So I started learning about my rights, and I learned very quickly that if you don't know your rights, you have none. If that's you, if that's something that you've recently, or if you've learnt on this journey, put a 1 in the chat so I know that, yep, I have a few people that are on the same journey as me. So I started learning about it all, and then I started doing a couple of processes to help separate me from the system, because I learned very quickly that the system can be very harmful for myself. Just to let you know, I started learning about sovereignty for 5 minutes before I took on the police, and I decided that driving an unregistered car does no harm to anybody else, and it's not offensive, and therefore why the hell should they have the right to arrest me? But anyway, I got arrested. I got dragged out of my car. I got thrown into the watchtower in Southport, and if you know Gold Coast, you know where that is. I was one of those that actually visited that place, and it was terrible. It was horrible, but I wanted to stand in my mana, and I wanted to stand in my own authenticity and authority as a living being. So I took on the police. And then later on, I took on the court, and my first experience standing in the court as a living woman and asking the judge, 3 times if she was trying to administer my estate, she stood and she left the court, and I thought I won. And then I was like, I am a sovereign, and the highest authority. I said something to that effect, and I said, yeah, I know you're laughing at me because you've heard the story before, Lady Sunshine, but anyway, in a nutshell, I just started doing things, and I started learning things, and I have an affidavit of life. I have a live life claim. I've done lots of different processes, but I still found that the system was still benefiting from the birth certificate name and the driver's license name in the system. And I wanted to put a stop to that. And I wanted to, help others to put a stop to that as well. So I kid you not, one day I prayed, and the next day I got introduced to a guy called William Nathan Tapine. Some of you guys might know who he is, but he's the one that introduced me to Raymond de Leon, who taught him about trademarking his birth certificate or his license, whatever name is used in commerce, trademark that name so that you can control the transactions, who benefits out of that name. Now, just like a hands up, either on screen, or if you want to throw up the raise your hand on your on the screen if you know about trademark laws. Anyone know about trademark laws? Not many have. Okay, there's a couple. Okay, now how about if I said that if you try to sell Nike Do you know about trademark laws? Can you do that? Can you create a Nike t-shirt and sell it? No. What would happen if you sold a Nike t-shirt or a Nike shoe or Nike something?
Only in China.
You'd be sued.
Yeah, you'll be sued.
You get away with it in Bali.
I mean, I don't think they actually have they actually don't have trademarking laws over there. So yeah, that's why they get away with it. But we do, and they can infringe us. I don't have my Ugg boots here, but I'll tell you a little bit of a story. Now, oh, here's the man now. Wow. Okay, now I don't have to make up all these stories. No, I'm just joking. Let me just share a story about Ugg boots. Okay. Raymond, you're late.
He's connecting to the audience.
Hey, everybody. Thank you for your fucking patience. Holy shit. I took a shower because my freaking dog kept licking me. And I was like, I got to take a shower. I smell like dog. So sorry about that.
Recording in.
You do realize, Raymond, that we can't smell you. So it doesn't matter.
I do, but I mean, like, I just feel nasty. I'm so sorry. I apologize so much. I'm never late.
I know.
He's got OCD, so it must have been really bugging him for him to choose between being late or being smelly.
Okay.
Welcome, Raymond.
Welcome, Raymond. Let me just finish my story because you were fashionably late for once. I'm going to just finish doing my introduction and story while you just take a minute, get your cigar and your beer, and and I'll get the room ready for you. So Ugg boots, you know, Australia, there's this guy who had a family-owned business. He had been selling Ugg boots since the 70s. Massive company, a massive, you know, operation. And someone in the US trademarked that. And anyway, he sold 2 pairs of Ugg boots into the US. And he received a cease and desist notice, an infringement on their trademark. And he was sued and he tried to challenge it and he lost everything. And this is millions, he lost millions. So anyway, I just wanted to share how powerful owning your trademark can be. If somebody ever tries to infringe on it, that's something that you can do as well. But anyway, without further ado, I do want to introduce to you guys, like I said, I was introduced to trademarking and irrevocable trust through William, who learnt from Raymond, who was fashionably late today. First time ever, first time. And I just have to let you know that this guy, he's an ex-Marine. His whole life and his whole life journey has been about protection, has been about you know, looking after people, really looking after, because he had to look after himself. Now he swears like a trooper, but that's okay. We don't judge him. We're not gonna, you know, take an offense to it. He also likes to drink beer and smoke cigars while he teaches, and that's because that gives him creativity. And again, we don't judge people who smoke and who drink, do we? But it's, if you guys can look all past that, look past the swearing, look past all of that, look past the brown skin face that he has, at the heart of it, he really does want to teach you guys this amazing process that can really change things for you. And I'm just really grateful to have him here, grateful to have him teach. Some of us that are on the 6-month course are here, and I'm sure they'll be able to share their experience and what the 6-month course has been like at the end of today's course. One thing that I would highly recommend you do, okay, now we have all had experiences of people talking crap, all right? People got the gift of the gab. If you've got a device, if you've got a laptop handy or a phone handy where you can search up anything that he says to verify and validate what he says is actually true, please do that, because we don't, yeah. I mean, we're not going to do it for you. You guys got to do it for yourself to see, to validate whether this guy is speaking pono and speaking the truth. Anyway, that's enough from me. I'm just going to kick back and let Raymond take over. If anyone has any questions, though, please pop them in the chat. I'm going to go through the chat and see if I can pull some questions out for Raymond. All right, it's all yours, Raymond. Introduce yourself, brother.
All right. Yeah, no, I got myself. I saw it. I saw it when you muted it. Thank you, because my old lady was going back and forth. All right, so awesome introduction. Che, who's Che?
That's my brother from New Zealand. Awesome dude.
Okay, well, he put some very valid things. That's why I wanted to address him first. He put in the chat something cognizable over there. So that was awesome. Yeah, that's right. Michael Jordan's the predominant example that I use. Use his name and make $1 at any cost. You get hit with a legal stick in your head and in your pocket. You saw it, Tupo?
Yeah, I did. Awesome. Thank you.
Those are the kind of individuals, somebody who gets already aware, maybe if they're not aware, investigate. I also encourage everybody to take notes. Take notes while we're talking. And this is a free flow conversation, so it's not a library. We talk. So let's open this up. What does everybody think they're here for? Just whoever assumes mantle and start spewing, talk to me, the new guys. What do we think we're here for? Right, ladies and gentlemen, but you're old school, so we gotta let, you know what I mean, the new guys attempt, meaning like you're a student already.
Well,
What do we think we're here for?
can I speak for people? Protection.
Well, I want to engage them.
You gotta let
I wanna
them
engage
speak.
Yeah, I want to engage them.
A clear understanding of not being raped with your sweat equity anymore.
Okay, and what would your sweat and equity, what are they really trying to take from you?
My hard-earned cash.
Your trade.
Cash is one.
My freedom.
Okay, Ben says protection of rights, freedom. Right.
My rights.
That's right.
Because every time
Still
we
some
sign
rights not
something,
joining. Sorry about that. I'm reading it. I read them out loud.
every time you sign something, like your license, all that sort of stuff, you've given up your rights for privileges.
Right, so negotiation of liabilities because of that privilege,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Awesome. What's your name, Raymond? Raymond, I'm Raymond.
Raymond.
Yeah, you're Raymond, I'm Raymond. It's not
Yeah.
Ramon, it's
Yeah.
it's Raymond, long A.
Yeah. If you don't swear, you're not American. I fucking know that.
Shit, you telling me.
I lived in America when I was young.
Awesomeness. Okay, just real quickly, this is a sidebar. Did you see the Combosa fight? Okay. Your Aussie, Greek Aussie fought tonight. So he fought in the 135-pound division. All right. So just so you know, you'll be able to look at him. His name is Combosa, though. All right. So, yep, Combosa. All right, and we all want to stop playing the game. Knowledge is power. Okay. So what we're looking for is protection of rights. Now, everybody's aware here that your state is a corporation as a sovereign entity. And it starts by knowing who we are. Is everybody here aware that your state is a corporation? Meaning Australia, New Zealand, they're corporations. Yes, Sabine says yes, Ellen says yes, Dami says yes. How come everybody can't just say yes? What do we got? We got a lot of noise because
Everyone's on mute, so they can hear you. It's for the recording.
okay. So we all know that our state is a corporation. So if our state is a corporation, then fundamentally they operate on what's good for business. Anybody disagree with that statement?
Yes.
Gotta give it 3 seconds. I gotta give it 3 seconds just to see what comes up. Okay. So if that's the case, then they only will do what's commercially acceptable. Daniel says
Yes.
commerce, right? So if we're identified by our name, but we can control the trade of the name, anybody think that we can control the trade of the state? No contract like kind. Does anybody disagree with what I just said?
Yeah.
Say it again, Ramon.
No problem. If we can control our name as a mark of trade, that means a trademark, like Michael Jordan, then maybe we can control the trade of the state because we are controlling the business of what is commercially acceptable. Anybody disagree with that logic?
I agree.
Chris, I'm going to insurance company over. Control the trade of the state, Lady Sunshine. Okay. So with that being said, then the most logical thing is to control all transactions in such a way that the state would have a liability in the event that they try to charge financially, prosecute, okay, claim taxes, anything that's on their documents that would cause a financial gain that includes from an attorney would possibly and definitely cause a commercial imbalance due to the fact that it inherently creates a liability. Trademark is a form of intellectual property, which therefore deems it a form of property. You're right, Lady Sunshine? You okay? You're muted, but you're right. All right. Don't die on me. We need you. All right. So here's the deal. So if that's the case, who here knows that a trademark waives the state's immunity upon infringement? And that's as per your Constitution under Article 51 and the federal law in your country. And if you don't believe so, then just type in the Google waiver. Go ahead, ABC.
No, they're just coming into the call unmuted. It's okay.
Okay. Now we have 32 people here. So feel free for one of the Australia's Constitution, Section 51. That's right. So here's the deal. Feel free to interrogate what I'm saying with the backdrop of Google.
Oh, I'm gonna put this on.
Okay, that's nice. Okay.
I was just seeing if any of my mates I had invited were on here. So sorry, got to put on mute.
All good. Does anybody have any questions up to this point? To confirm, so you have a copyrighted interest title in the name property? No, you have a trademark interest. That means you have to commercially do business with your name as a mark of trade, Che. What about New Zealand? Donna, it operates there too. New South Wales is your nexus. Am I correct or incorrect, Tupa?
Correct.
Thank you. So Lady Sunshine, trademark is a form of intellectual property, so property protection is what this is about. Oh God, that is right, Donna says. New Zealand is a state of New South Wales, so it comes under the AUS Constitution, which is koala land. Sorry, Kiwis, koala supremacy. Take it up with them.
Quality.
I'm
Yeah,
messing
and-
around.
Yeah, and let me just clarify that this is not
Please.
a you know, battle of the
It's an
battle
American
of-
instigator running his fat face. No, I'm just kidding. Blaming on the Bud Light. Okay, I'll be politically correct. I'm joking. That's
you
not a
know-
function of your law.
I know you're joking, but you know, there's this pride thing between New Zealand and Aussies, okay? So of course we'll have a bunch of New Zealanders or Maori here that'll be going, oh hell no, are we a state of Australia? You know, but we're just
I understand so well, Tupo, because Puerto Rico is not a state of the United States, yet they're under the United States. And I'm Puerto Rican, and we speak Spanish and English, but you know, you talk to any Puerto Rican on that island, and they're like, and you have to kind of go down there and be like, but Donald Trump was still your president.
exactly.
But
exactly.
I get it, and it's more apart than even that, because you guys actually have a prime minister in New Zealand, don't you? Yeah, she.
That's debatable.
Oh, and that's debatable. Okay, but, so don't take.
They
it. I'm
call
just
her,
ignorant.
I'll just tell you what they call her. They call her horse face.
Amazing. I will
I
tattoo
heard
that
it's a pile of shit.
on Twitter. But okay, so I get it. Okay,
Yeah.
so just know I'm just American making stupid ass jokes of ignorance. Don't nobody take it tribally. You know, New Zealand versus koalas and whatever. But so here's my thing. My thing is that under an operation of law and being combat. Hold on, let me kick my dogs out because my dogs are fucking being sound terrorists. Hold on. Guys, go outside.
For the purpose of this, New Zealand being a state of Australia is a great thing. Believe me, it's a great thing. We can really exploit that.
That's right, because you guys have commonality under the law.
Yes.
Anybody disagree with that logic? Anybody disagree with the logic that Americans, British, New Zealanders, and Aussies share a very, very, very unique, special relationship within their laws because there's a one-for-one parallel or nexus in between each law system of common law principles. Thank you, Sabine. Donna? Okay, correct. Okay. Che, having previously attempted to trademark my name, they won't allow me to do so under the concept. Wait, can you read that?
No.
Che?
I did it, Che, and I will show you how to do it as possible.
Amazing. Jeez, amazing combat experience right there.
So, oh,
Chupo, can we look up waiver of crown immunity, the definition?
Yeah.
okay. Anyone can do it. If you all want to have a look, all of you can look it up.
Hi, Jenny. Hi,
Waiver
Ian. I
crown.
encourage everybody to look it up simultaneously because then people will say, but I don't understand what Raymond was talking about. And then when they say that, we'll be like, well, we can look at it. And then you got notes. You will forever have these notes.
Okay.
Waiver of crown immunity. Thank you, Al. You're awesome, Al.
Is it this one? Can you see that?
Thank you. But we need waiver of crown immunity. So sovereign immunity in Australia.
Let me just put Australia.
Oh, shit. You guys have section 10 of your FSIA, Foreign Sovereign Immunity Act. Amazing. We will look that up right after we define crown immunity.
Yep.
There is no automatic crown immunity in Australia. What does that mean? Let's stop right there. Let's read that first link. Just look at the link and then we'll go into it afterwards. But no, we'll go into it afterwards.
Oh, okay.
What is no automatic crown immunity? mean?
That means if you're claiming you're sovereign, they're going to ignore you.
No. There is no automatic crown immunity. Because I just got goosebumps looking at that.
Mm.
In the United States, there's automatic crown immunity or sovereign immunity. Automatically. So if there is no automatic crown immunity, then that means that your state can't automatically say that you cannot sue the state in their respective lower courts. What does that leave the door open to? Let's try this. Raymond?
Suing them.
Right, but where's Raymond?
Oh, sorry, Raymond.
Raymondo. Okay, he's probably stopping forest fires.
No, I can't see my screen, but anyway.
Oh, okay. What is it? What you call it? What does it allow if there is no automatic crown immunity in the courts? What does that allow for?
Sue for compensation. Means you can sue for compensation.
Amazing. Immediately, because there's no automatic, that means that the court will not just dismiss your claim, saying that, well, you can't sue the state in the courts just because you brought a grievance against that dead corporate entity.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Did anybody know that?
Why are you shaking your head, Lady Sunshine? You shouldn't know that.
Okay, Dami says no, but did anybody know it? That means I'm waiting for the one that says, yes, I knew this.
I'm speaking for the collective, Tupo, the collective.
Okay, so then if that's the case, can we look up Tupo waiver of crown immunity due to trademark infringement? You can pick whichever. Okay, we're looking at trademark infringement. Can you find which one has actual trademark in it? That's the Copyright Act. It can't be American.
Do you need any of us to look it up as well?
Okay, so if it
Does it
doesn't
say
come up,
there? So the
Go
one
ahead.
that you've been in before, Tupo, section 10
okay, let's look at that.
of the Australian FSIA provides. No.
Or we could look up intellectual property infringement cases in Australia. Rights in Australia against the state. Property rights cases against Australia. We have to be very exact, because if I start just running my mouth, then people will say, well, he didn't prove whatever the hell he was. Okay. No, understand.
Well, I mean, look, I've seen one here that says urgently waive intellectual property rules for vaccine Human Rights Watch. Interesting.
Okay, hold that up. Let's just get this one real quick. Okay, you can, yeah, understand infringement. Let's look at that. Because what it might mean is that you must specify that it is a property right as trademark specifically Does that make sense or no? Okay, then I'll put it into Google another way, because every time it comes out of my mouth, I have to almost kind of pick the lock on Google, right?
Oh, I've
so that
got-
it comes up. What do you got?
I've got something here that says Nigeria, waiver of sovereign immunity clause in finance documents. Okay.
Okay, and trademark would also be a finance document the minute that you make it a licensing agreement, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So let me read this. As the owner of intellectual property rights, it is your responsibility to ensure you enforce them. What does that mean? Tupo, take the screen off real quick. I
Be
want other
vigilant.
people to engage. I want people to engage, because if they're not going to engage, then how can I know that they are trying to actually understand what's going on?
Engaged to protect your trademark.
Who said that? So you're somebody with you, Raymond? Somebody sitting next to you, right? Okay, you got to take your mute off. Very interested in what you are wanting to show
Oh, you
us.
got,
All ears,
Raymond,
please
just take
continue.
your mute off so we can hear your friend speak.
There you go.
Yeah. Hey, buddy, what's up? What's your name?
Hi.
Raymond too? Raymond too?
No, I'm John. I'm Full Colin
John.
John, Full Colin Cyphers. I'm an ambassador here.
Okay. Roger that. Hey, what was your response?
I said ensure your rights to protect your trademark.
That's not
Be
it. What it
vigilant.
means is that it's compulsory that you better
Yes.
protect your rights, because they will not police it for you.
Yeah.
So immediately when you're cognizant that there is an infringement by a state actor, a solicitor, or anybody, you better have a reflex action to
Yeah.
block them and to charge them.
Done.
That makes sense?
Yeah, it does.
Okay. And so if in Australia it's not coming up off of Google automatically, that, waiver of crown immunity, the way I'm saying it, because in America it does, then we must find the legal principle equivalent, which would be protect the trademark under
Section
property
50.
rights, which would be Section 51
Yeah,
of
Section
the
51.
Constitution of Australia. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
So, and sometimes the words that I may say, even though they might mean the equivalent, are not spoken by the solicitors over there the way I said it, but there is a legal equivalent in terminology.
Yep.
Anybody disagree with that logic? That we must be
No.
aware of, rubbing the Buddha's belly of Google, so we can find out how is it termed in Australia to better take our claim and aim our claim at the target with an appropriate claim for remedy and relief provided to or by the Constitution and laws that have been legislated. Therefore, we have some sort of statutory agreement on how we should get compensated.
Yeah. So what's
Because
the
there's a lot-
process?
Go ahead.
What's the process in terms of asking for a fee for their
That's
infringement?
what the course is about.
Yes.
There you go. That's exactly what the course is about. That's why I'm trying to get you guys to engage, to test your critical thinking, so that you know what you're looking forward to, because you have an idea of it.
Yeah.
I might smoke cigars and drink alcohol, but in no shape or form was I born under a rock. I was born from a uterine lining in which I repelled from my mother and cut my own umbilical cord after fast roping out of her, letting Earth know that I am a warrior.
Yeah.
And self-sufficient.
Awesome. Cool.
Thank you. Thank you, John. That's awesome. And I appreciate your engagement.
Thanks.
Tobias, I love it. So this is what we're going to do, okay, in this course. We're going to learn how to properly set ourselves up with our intellectual property, which is a commercial property. And we are going to learn how to secure that property. And that property will be, i.e. our name, so that we can control all transactions, which all transactions that the state would do would inherently create an infringement upon, hi nephew, our goddamn name, because it is given by our parents. And what the fuck are they doing touching that and monetizing us at will because of their own financial gain? Because for some goddamn, goddamn reason, our law systems have a loophole in which they respect our property once we are smart enough to deem our name a specific type of property, which is allowable. Example, Michael Jordan. And so we can therefore use a trade secret learned by the Smooth Operational Law program to be able to execute our immunities by protecting ourselves, by controlling the transactions that they are allowed to conduct. Anybody disagree with that?
No,
Roger.
that's good.
See, because if I can't paint the logic, then I can't paint the bullseye. And if there's no bullseye, then what the hell is the target? Fire for effect. Any questions up to this point?
No.
I know we're gonna ask, well, Ray, man, how the fuck do we do it? That's what the course is about. But I wanna, we can ask questions as much as we want right now, and I will answer your questions and we will pull it up on screen, even though you might not remember all of it tonight, but that's the whole purpose of the 6 months. Anybody here ever heard of the common law processes or SPC process, secure party creditor, or UCC process, which are American, and I don't know why they would even, any American that tells you in Australia or New Zealand, UCC this, be a part of my course, he's a liar or she's a liar. She's a fraudster. Because we need to find your law system's parallel equivalent. That way we have a social compromise that can be met. We share the same principles. We do not share the same exact statutes.
Our equivalent is the Personal Property Security Register, or PPSR. And there have been a few people that have had their PPSR account cancelled because it was either frivolous or vexatious. Frivolous, maybe?
Right. We will not have that issue because we're going to follow exactly what's prescribed. We're going to find the legal translation, the statutory translation of the principles.
Yeah.
So that they can't deny it. It's still legal. And to them, even if you want to say that they're a corporation, it's their policy. So they have to.
Yeah, exactly. You can't hate them for creating what they created.
Yeah, all they did was quantify rationale.
Exactly.
And sometimes it might seem irrational, but at least it's going to work in our favor for this one. Anybody tired of wearing a face diaper? Very irrational. Any questions up to this point?
I got a question.
There we
Wouldn't
go.
the UCC still apply here in Australia because the Commonwealth of Australia Corporation is registered in Washington, DC?
No.
And why?
There you go. Good question. So here's what happens. The UCC, right? Okay, imagine that the United States, right, is built in such a way where each independent state is sovereign to each other. That falls under our 11th Amendment. So there could be federal laws that the state doesn't have to enforce, and they could literally walk on a microphone, the governor, and say, fuck you in the hole you came through there, Presidente. And I'm not enforcing it. And he could even instruct his sheriff to not enforce federal law because they're not federal agents. Now, there are remedies to try to compel said performance, which is that the president could sign off on a document and say, well, this state doesn't get federal funding, even though their taxpayers are paying federal income tax. Do you see what I'm saying or no?
Can you say it again in another language?
Well, let me say it in a more layman term. Anybody here ever heard of New York?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
What ocean is New York attached to?
Atlantic.
Anybody here ever heard of Los Angeles?
Yes.
What ocean is Los Angeles attached to?
The Pacific.
Okay, so in their border, right? Because the ocean would be a border of a nation. Anybody disagree with that?
Posible.
Well, definitely it would be. So let's say the president says, okay, no federal funding. So we're not going to send federal agents or military to block off your state, even though you're a territory. The only job of the federal government will be to make sure that you motherfuckers don't secede, and we will burn your shit down with drone strikes to the ground if you intend to do so. And since you want to be fuckface dirtbags, Border Patrol and all these other motherfuckers, let the people just drive in there and bomb the shit out of them with drugs, cocaine, alien smuggling, fucking whatever the crap.
Which country are you talking about?
United States. Because we are on the border of Mexico, and I don't know if everybody knows, but there is a huge cartel enterprise in Mexico. And those motherfuckers will kill you and dump you in battery acid in front of your family and then feed your children to dogs. That is how they send their messages.
Thank you for that great visual. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, it is. You guys want to act stupid? Stage will allow you to be invaded by your own ignorance. And then when the crime rate goes up, screw you. And then we'll put a blockade on your state to stop your citizens from being able to infest or run away. Oh, but those are citizens' rights. But we're going to create a national emergency since you don't want to obey.
So what you're saying is that federal law is?
In the United States, federal law is imposed by power because of the fact that there was a civil war to stop slavery. And all of those states that lost the Civil War were trying to override federal doctrine because they were ordered to not have slaves. And so what did Washington, D.C. do? Because Abraham Lincoln was the president at the time. And what happened was he said, good, we're going to send troops and we're going to slam every official over there trying to impose slavery. So if they saw a sheriff that was allowing slavery to still stand, they would arrest the sheriff, go to the house and charge him with a federal crime. So the only way the United States operates is with...
The states don't have to enforce federal law, but there's incentives for them to do so, is what you're saying.
But they can get absolutely Allah Akbar into submission.
Good girl, Jen. And
Does
this
that make
has
sense?
to do with the UCC not working for
It
us.
does. No, it does. It
because-
does. So no,
Yeah.
hold on. So you see how there could be quarrels in between states under some circumstances that I've just finger painted on the wall to give you an example, to bring you up to speed with the situation in the United States. Okay, so what the UCC does is that it creates in between states a commercial level without waiving sovereign immunity, a commercial level of adherence. Because if I brought a check from New York to California, the instrument must meet a certain criteria for recognition. That is the whole purpose of the UCC. It is a uniform commercial code that allows for each state to acknowledge a criteria by creating a legislation of that code so that they meet certain levels of parity. Now, in between the United States and Australia, they don't have that. Australia has to have what's known as an apostille capability. which means, now, let's look that up there, Lady Sunshine. Apostille. And what an apostille capability says is the following. That's the reality. Raymond offers ways to negotiate the tumultuous what is right, which is that Australia might do business so different to the United States, yet it might be a treaty member under our Hague Convention. And so we share a lot of principles, so we make an international contract where the states recognize each other to do business because you're friendly. I mean, you guys goddamn speak English. I didn't have to change one fucking lick of my language, right?
Do you get anything,
So
Chipper?
our brothers across the pond, what happens is international treaty will control international commerce.
Say that again, apostle what?
I'm looking it up. I
Apostille.
just,
Apostille.
Yeah, got it.
I was on,
APO.
I was on Ecosia. I just keep getting like
It's just authenticated.
It's just it keeps not coming up as that. It keeps coming up as imposter syndrome.
No, apostilles and authentications.
Yeah.
Definition. Put apostille definition, or you could put apostille wiki.
Okay.
We say
Is a form of authentication issued to documents for use in countries that participate in the Hague Convention of 1964.
Hey.
A list of countries that accept apostilles is provided by the US State Department.
There we go, Che. So that's how we send it to our, our representative. I'm gonna say, because I don't know the representative in Australia, but what I will do is just tell you what the representative is in the United States, because that's what I can speak to, which is our Secretary of State or our State Department, which is a Secretary of State. It's one guy who has the stamp, who makes sure that commercial instruments that are going to be offered to specific other countries, he can say, within our system, this document is verifiable, stamp it, and then when you present it, they can call just that one guy and say, is this shit real? Because there's a treaty, instead of going to each department under each local criteria and trying to vet, with the knowledge of each state's operation of creation of those documents and its authenticity. Anybody not understand what I am saying?
A few people put their hands up, just so you know.
Okay, so in short, there's a representative of each state under that treaty that says this document from my hood is real. I checked it, shit meets our criteria, so you guys can accept it, and that's it. And they do it with the stamp, but they inspect it before you go out there running your mouth into another country like this shit's real, because then they'll say, well, it doesn't have an apostille, so how do I know somebody verified? If that makes sense. Does that not make sense? Any more hands go up?
Does anyone need him to say it in one sentence?
So if the document,
Okay, can you say it? Can you say it in a sentence?
One sentence. Okay, if the documents were cocaine, before it crosses the border, the guy on your representative sniffs it and says, this shit's cocaine, you know me, go ahead and accept that batch.
I got that.
Maybe not the best definition. None of us are drug dealers.
No, I got that.
It's an agreement.
it's an agreement.
It's an agreement internationally. There's a guy that makes sure that the documents are good to go. So gives the okay. Or a woman.
Cocaine, I love it.
Okay. Yes, but it makes sense. See, Hannah said it. See, so it makes sense. So, nonetheless, go ahead.
And it's a convention.
It is a convention. So it's international treaty. Everybody sat down at the table, grabbed their cigars and their beer, and negotiated acceptability.
Yeah, that was
that
done
being
through the Hague Conference. That was done through the Hague Conference, yes.
Absolutely.
1661, I believe.
1961.
1961, yes.
So here's the deal. A lot of us don't have to think these things or reinvent the wheel as far as how to appropriately assert our position to negotiate liabilities, whether commercial or persecution, because the states are corporations and they only do what's good for business. And if you can negotiate their liabilities, then you can equally balance the scale. Example, anybody here know about Amber Heard, Johnny Depp, the suit, and that they both got awarded an award, and so therefore Johnny Depp's win is going to be a little bit less because she too needs to get paid for $2 million upon that 15 million, even though you guys don't know this, but the statutory sum in Pennsylvania is you only get 330,000. So he really won 10.3 million. News could say 15 million, they're not lawyers. He really won 10.3 million. But he's gonna have to pay 2 million to her because he too defamed her. And so, nonetheless, how much does he really win? Let's say 8.3 million. Excuse me, demons are coming out. Bitch is broke now. He won. She's fucking broke. So, I just got, cheers, men's rights. Excuse me. Excuse me. I keep standing up. So here's the deal.
Sorry. It's funny.
It is funny. I was laughing all week. So here's my thing. You know? But here's my thing. But so that's how it really works. So when you're talking about their financial liabilities with the waiver of crown immunity, there are people that are independently held liable. Because the state says there's a waiver of crown immunity, which means as a state, we will not protect you because you violated property laws. And we only get our power from the people. And this is derived as a limit of our authority from our Constitution. So state actors cannot adjudicate to the contrary, or it would be a constitutional violation in such a way that we even have federal law that parallels the intent of that federal right. My black ass can speak some fucking Harvard.
I was gonna say that was gold right there. If you got that statement right there.
Did you? Can you repeat it, Tupo? I'll put it in the chat.
Oh shit!
Seriously, asking me to repeat that.
Yep.
Okay, reverse engineer.
Tupo's gonna have fan claws. She's gonna go 1,000 words. I'm fucked.
All right. Can you repeat it, Raymond? Reverse engineer.
Yes, I can. I'll puke it one more time.
Yeah,
just don't add anything. I have to type it.
Neffy saved me.
Look, there's a recording. You can type it when you slow the recording.
I'm doing it for the people. I'm interpreting. He's Puerto Rican. Go.
Okay. Yeah.
It's American. It's American.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Hold on. Let me know my people in. Come on, John. Hi. Okay, I had to let John Carlo in. You guys saw him? He ran. 1 second.
I've got reverse engineer. That's what I've got in the chat. I'm ready.
So here's the deal. The state has to protect your trademark as a property right due to the fact that because the Constitution allows for protections of property rights. Disregard the noise in the back. That's my German Shepherd. What happens is, yeah, she's jealous. So no.
Just bring her over here and put her on your lap.
Yeah, but then she starts kissing me.
That's okay. You can have another shower later. She wants to be here. She's supporting us. She's your therapy dog and she's supporting us.
Here. All right. So here's my point. Due to the constitutional provisions under Section 51 of your Constitution, there is a property right protection. Constitution set limits on governments. There are also federal statutes that parallel the interest of your constitutional provision for that property right, and that specifically label it as trademark, being intellectual property is protected also under our law. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So nonetheless, we're not going to sit here and debate with any state actors anymore.
No.
We're going to learn how to negotiate their liabilities.
Yeah.
Not because we said so, not because we felt like it, not because we believe in some fictitious process, but because they said so. They legislated it, and it happens to self-execute a limit on their authority and cause an inherent liability, because there's no automatic claim to crown immunity in your state. Does that make sense? Yeah. Time on deck is 11:59. Any questions up to this point? We use the system again.
Thank you. Can I ask, and all this applies because if there is a corporation that wants to make a financial gain out of your name?
Damn right, and it's not our fucking fault that they're a goddamn corporation, because we didn't write that shit. They conjured up that demon, so we're gonna go ahead and give them a reason to stab themselves.
Yeah. Okay.
Because they said so. Because they said so.
Because
said
they
if
wrote
do
it
that-
and we have to do what they say. That you remember
And
that,
then
don't
we're
you?
law-abiding citizens. So let's go ahead and use that compulsion
We're
to protect our
law-abiding
intellectual
citizens.
property.
That's right.
I mean, what are they gonna say? Oh, you're such a good citizen, we hate you? Okay, good, die. You know, that's what we're gonna tell them. Good, hang yourself. Please send me the recording. My link's so bad. Okay, Vicky.
Yes, I've got everyone that has put their email into the chat. I have gone through them all and I've copied and pasted it into my little list of to-dos. And that is to send you guys all the recording.
Awesome.
Thank you.
That's why Tupo is the best thing since sliced bread. I had to think of a new one, Tupo.
Simon,
Yes.
would this trademarking work against arbitrage against the councils as well?
Local council.
Yeah, local council.
Big time. I don't care if it's your mayor.
Yes.
I don't care if it's your governor. I don't care. Listen. If they're on the clock, if they're on the clock saying, Raymond, then you tell them, oh, fucker, you got paid for my name? I need your body. I need your wallet, your wife's wedding ring. I need it all. I need you to put that in my pocket, and the courts are going to help me execute it. And then they're going to look at you and say, what are you talking about, bruv? And you're going to look at them and say, I'm talking about your financial fucking goddamn death. Screw you, give me that. And when you execute the process, you will be able to monetize them the same way that they monetize you. Any concern there, Raymond, for holding that kind of hammer? Thor is metal.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Okay.
You are.
Well, just hit him in the chin with it.
Yeah, well said.
They wrote it. You know what I mean? They wrote it. So that's what we're going to do in this course.
Every time I send
Anybody excited about learning something like this? Just so I could get a temperature check of who may be interested?
Yeah. So every time they send me a letter, they have to pay a bill.
They end up having to pay a bill. And I'm going to show you how to do it.
Beautiful. That
And
I
it's
like.
enforceable by their courts. That's what makes this process different than other processes. Because other processes tell you, you have a claim here. My process is just alert them and they'll take care of their own, like a mafia. They will clean up their messes.
That's called our tricks and traps for their tricks and traps on their fictitious conveyance of language.
Yep. Yep. See, this is the thing. Look, there's a lot of people that will talk to you. Example, and some people are going to get mad and turned off. Tupo, shut my mouth before I say it. If you think, because you know when I say things, they're very direct, but they paint a very clear picture. So please put a muzzle on me before I choke myself. 3, 2.
You're good to go.
Roger. So here's the deal. You know how you've ever sat at a table and somebody said, wow, I know what sign you are. And most people go, oh, really? You can guess? What sign? I'm not that guy. I'm not that fucking guy. Let me tell you why. Because how the hell, under the fucking sun and the stars and shit, you know what the hell I am? For example, can anybody here, besides the people that are in my class, normally, guess what sign I am?
You're all the signs.
But do we understand what I'm saying? It's like, oh, wow, let me go ahead and guess your personality by some fucking star stuff that's in the sky. No correlation, purely fiction. What are we talking about? Now watch this. So I'm a guy that likes to have point of aim, point of impact. That means where I look and where I lift my rifle, when that muzzle comes up, boom, it needs to hit the target, center mass. Once it penetrates the chest, if they survive from the bleeding, they will still have their spinal column ripped by the impact. Target down. We need for sure fires. And the only way we can have for sure, can we do it any quicker than 6 months? I need a mortgage clear because they double it. Yeah, of course it can be done quicker than 6 months, but to learn it, 6-month program. Now, here's the deal. What I'm saying is this. I don't like leaving things to wishes or thoughts. I like leaving things to systemic, already proven input-output criterias. That means no take of chance. This has to be mechanical more so than it is perception, through perception or intellectual, if that makes sense. Anybody disagree with that type of thinking? And that if that's the thinking, that's what I'm trying to offer you guys. A 1 + 1 = 2 type of rubric of instruction, as opposed to, hey, let me guess what kind of sign you are. Here, you. Oh, wow, you smile a lot. You know what? You must be a fucking goddamn fish, a Pisces. Fishes smile. Anybody here ever saw a fish smile? Now add that to star stuff. And then go ahead and tell that guy what the hell he is. Anybody disagree with that metric?
No,
With
I
that
know what
explanation?
sign you are. I know what sign
What's
you
up?
are. You're
What's
a
that?
beware sign.
A beware sign. That's right. Beware. No trespass. Dog will eat you. Second Amendment response, America. You know? But
That
does
was a
that make
good one,
sense?
Raymond.
Yeah. So that's what I'm trying to offer you guys. Okay. I'm not trying to offer you guys some ism. Just some ism. You know? All right. Any questions? Free flow conversation. We've done the first hour. And I appreciate everybody for understanding. This is my first time ever being late to anything, but I was in the shower. So I apologize. Again, sincerely.
Now's your time to ask any question.
Just take yourself off mute, because if you're talking, we might not be able to hear you unless you press that button.
How about this? Let this be a better catalyst. If you are confused as fuck, this is your moment.
So how long is this course? And is it weekly or how does it work?
Weekly at this time, 6 months. You get all the paperwork and everything like that. Yep. Your job is not to reinvent the wheel, but to understand the wheel as it rotates.
And how much does it cost?
We don't know that yet. I'm gonna let Tupo put that into the chat. Tupo's setting it. I'm just here to actually execute the job.
So you'll be conducting the course, Raymond.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, this guy. This guy, these are my Saturdays. These are your Sundays. Remember that the earth is a fucking sphere.
Yeah.
Fucking sphere.
Yeah.
I'm a little confused. Okay, well, let's engage verbally. That way we
No,
can,
no, you didn't read it. It says, I'm a little confused as fuck every week.
No, I'm a little less.
Ah, see?
I'm a little bit less confused as fuck every week.
There you go,
It's
Elle,
like
and I
that's
appreciate.
more-
I think
Elle, can I tell you something? I haven't told you this, but I appreciate the fact that you took a leap of faith in your last comment. Because, and this is personal, what I'm telling you in the public, because of the fact that you still keep coming, you're a hard charger. I appreciate all your efforts, and God bless you. God bless you. All
I'm
right,
not here to play. I'm here to win. So if I'm confused, it means I need to come back next week.
let's go. That's a hard charger. I like that. Awesome. All right, anybody else? I'm trying to give you guys up to 2 to trademark our name and our products. Can Raymond share some real life examples he experienced? Of course.
Do I need to
Bro.
pause recording?
You might just.
Now?
You might but just give it 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Let me think of an example that I could still put on the recording so everybody could get the benefits
Hmm.
in a recording. Because last time I said, fuck no, because they didn't engage. They barely did.
While he's thinking
So
of that, so the way that he runs his calls is the first hour is all the nitty-gritty technical stuff where if you don't understand it yet, you're looking it up and it's like it takes a little bit to sink in. And then the next hour, we really put it all into practice. And for me as a beginner, that's where it all starts to make sense to me. So when we're actually discussing people's situations and putting what we just learned into context, I'm like, I have all my aha moments in the second hour.
Yeah, first hour is me on the chalkboard. Second hour is, well, Raymond, how does that really work in real life? And then we start talking about everything. If it happened in the news, we talk about it. If it happened on the internet, we talk about it, meaning we will pull up links for trademark names. For example, somebody asked me a real world example, of course, Blue Ivy Carter. Tupo, can you go get that? Because we've been revisiting this one.
Sorry, Raymond.
And
I
not
missed.
the registration, the actual AAA win. So the fact that Beyonce sued over the wedding planner. There you go. Let me give her a second because she's awesome and she has a beautiful family. So they're gonna ask her stuff. Awesome, Tupo.
Yeah, sorry. I just had my son-in-law ask me if I can massage his neck after this soon. And I missed the last 3 minutes.
Okay, we're just looking up the
Blue
Blue
Ivy?
Ivy Carter trademark holdings or the win. Do you want me to look
And
up the win?
result. The
Do you want me to
result
look-
of Jay-Z and Beyonce's daughter with the wedding planners, just because they wanted to solicit it with a similar name as their daughter to get people to fucking come to their houses and just get dollars.
Okay, trial and appeal, board smacks down, challenge to Beyonce's
screen.
trademark application for Blue Ivy
You need it on
Carter.
screen.
Is this correct?
No, not just the trademark application
Okay.
because we know it's filed, but we need the results. Put Blue Ivy Carter AAA.
I got it. So
That's it.
Trupo's got it.
wins
She's
legal battle. That you want that one?
Boom. Yeah, and not the one for just registering it. The one for there we go. Keep going. Okay, let's look at it. So, hold on. That's the application. Contested claim. Morales said that it would be too simpler to the company.
No,
Okay,
this
hold
is
on.
the win.
So Beyonce is closer to trademarking the name of her daughter, which she eventually did. They accepted it, of course, after U.S. authorities dismissed the challenge to the application. So that means somebody challenged Beyonce trademarking her daughter's name, saying that it's close to their company. Now let me read it. Hold on. Let's go up a little bit. There we go. So now, the singer has been in a legal battle with Veronica Morales, the owner of events planning from Blue Ivy Company. So her name, the daughter's name is Blue Ivy, last name Carter. The company's name is Blue Ivy Company since 2017. At the time, Beyonce filed legal papers that sought to protect the commercial rights of Blue Ivy Carter, her daughter, with her husband, Jay-Z. Contesting the claim, Morales said the trademark would be too similar to her own company and called on U.S. Patent and Trademark Office officials to deny the bid. At one point, she even accused Beyonce of fraud and said the singer had no intention of using the name for business purposes. Amazing. Now, let's go down, because I'm kind of retarded. Okay, so however, her claims have not been denied by the authorities, who have ruled that there is no evidence to suggest that members of the public would confuse the two brands. They declared, as Blast reports, because we find a poser failed to establish the applicant lacked a bona fide intent to use its mark in connection with the goods and services identified in the application, her fraud claim based thereon failed as well. Now, can we move out of this and put Blue Ivy Carter AAA? So now this is the registration, but we need to go past that. Just put space, no, trademark, AAA. Yep. There you go.
This one.
Good.
No. No, that's the same
Okay, put
one.
American Arbitration Association in this hotel then. Give me 30 seconds.
I'm blind.
Really?
Right back. We got visual.
Yeah.
Good. Okay, so Beyonce named by Forbes, as the most powerful woman in entertainment, the most powerful in entertainment. What's it called? Has built a business empire that stretches, nobody cares. Okay, so next paragraph. The filed trademark application include goods and services covering everything from books, pacifiers, shampoos, cosmetics, jewelry, video games, and online store services and entertainment services. Amazing. So until last week, one obstacle prevented the registration of the mark. Let's go down a little more. Nobody cares about Morales. We know that. No. Listen, look. Keep going down. But we don't want her to win the trademark application. What we need is her win at the American Arbitration Association. Does that make sense? Blue Ivy Carter win American Arbitration Association. Let's just put that. Check out trademark. And let's put win. God damn it, I got the paperwork and I'll give it to you. Okay, there it is. Up. Wait, hold on. Man. Okay, Jay-Z, Black, EOE. Okay, no, that's one. And that's him arguing with a judge. Blue Ivy Carter and I was first Grammy. No.
It's because she won a Grammy that it's not coming up.
Okay, that's Rockney. I'm gonna have to give you that Chupo, because we can't just be talking shit. Do you know what I mean? Meaning not you, but me. Because they're only talking about her win to file it right here. So which means that the Google algorithm has changed, and I don't want to go through 22 pages of whatever the hell they have of stories that MSNBC and everybody else has.
And it was only the other day when we were talking to Chris, we brought it up, and it's on my laptop.
There you go. So
not
they
on
just
this
changed
one.
the algorithm.
I'll see if I can find it. Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it like that. But okay, so let me give you in a short answer to the question, any real world experiences. The daughter of Jay-Z won against wedding planners not just for the filing, but at the American Arbitration Association. That's what happened. We'll get the documents, we'll bring it back up.
It's
As
under
far as, good.
it's under lawandcrime.com.
Okay, do you have it on your screen?
Yeah,
On
I've got it
Tupo,
here.
can you open the sharing so
Yeah,
that you can share it?
it's open. Just share away, Raymond. Thank you.
And I appreciate all the people from the preliminary class being here because you guys are awesome and I never give a fuck. I love it. When you guys come, it's an extra class. I thank y'all.
Maybe Raymond, you can post a link if you're using a different device. I think he's using a
Oh,
separate
Raymond's
device.
gonna hit the
We can
share
actually,
button
we can email it.
and he's gonna put it on screen.
If you just type in lawandcrime, all one word, .com, it'll come up under that trial and appeal board smacks down challenge to Beyonce's trademark application for Blue Ivy card.
No, but that's the same, that's synonymous with what we said.
Ah,
There's an actual win based on the name from something else that happened, which we're gonna have to produce. Yep. So,
yeah. Got it here.
yep,
Yeah.
so that it's, thank you for your attempt to go grab the information. That lets me know that you're fucking actually trying to understand this shit because a lot, hey, be advised.
Hey.
Be advised. Okay, everybody. It's 12:19, so we got like probably 40 more minutes, but here's the deal. There's a lot of people that will go, okay, and they don't really research it. So I appreciate Raymond and his interaction because the best way to own this trade secret is by actually engaging the class. That way you can have verified results.
Yeah.
Everything I'm saying, I'm if you notice, it's coming out of my mouth, and where's it coming up on? It's coming up on Google.
the net. Yeah.
So my intent to operate in good faith, I hope that it's showing because I could say a million things, but if there's no definition for what I'm saying, then it would be another one of those secure party creditor processes because a lot of those guys use some 1800s law in America, but they don't give you a strategy on how to employ it across borders because we share the same common law principles. So a lot of those guys' mouths would actually put you in a hellhole because they're not taking into consideration the fact that your country has it legislated under a different rule or law or whatnot.
Yeah.
And that's actually what our group, Minds and Tupo and Al and everybody is actually gaining the benefit from because it's coming up and we're looking at it and we're filling the documents, doing a one-for-one change, which you guys being a second group would gain the benefit because the job is done before you have even come and signed on. Your job is to understand it, not reinvent it. And then you can challenge it in real time with me. That way you don't go out there and make any mistakes.
Wow. Yeah.
So Google Think Tank in real time of law, and we will make sure that you guys get the same benefit that I've been gaining from the United States for 10 years. I don't know if you guys know this, but if you were to judge how old I look, you might think I'm younger than I am.
Yeah. I reckon it's
40.
about 40.
Yeah, but it's still
44,
saying
44.
TTAD, which is the trademark. You know what I'm saying, Court? So it's still the same. I'm keen on your course too, Donna. A Google Think Tank in real time. That's right. And that's the most beautiful thing about it. Because let's say I say something that's an error and you guys find me to be an error in your jurisdiction. Tupo, Lady Sunshine, L, Net5, would I address it? And say that, okay, so then we need to find another route that's synonymous and we'll go and we'll put into Google different terms so that we can find the legal equivalent. Hello?
Definitely.
Hello?
Definitely, Raymond.
Okay, Paul, that's what I do, right?
Yep.
So you know what I mean? So it's not the fake the funk, let's just sell some shit, take everybody's money. Like, no, this is like we are going to literally grind this fucker out.
I did my research too, though, Raymond. You know, when I was introduced to this with through Willie, you know, he got me to look into what lawyers are charging just for an irrevocable trust in the Cook Islands. Just an irrevocable trust set up in the Cook Islands, you're looking at 30 to 50 USD. So
1,000, say 1,000 at the end.
Yeah, sorry, 30 to 50,000 USD. So
how fast did I give you guys the irrevocable trust upon signing on?
In our first class.
Immediately. It's electronic.
Yes.
Why do I need to charge you guys? You know, so save yourselves 30 to 50 USD to actually employ this shit. And and the way I look at it, Australian dollars don't have the same purchasing powers as United States dollars. And so therefore, just assume that it would probably be like 45,000 to like 75,000, whatever the hell it is of your guys' stuff. I don't know. Somebody Google it. You know?
30%.
Huh?
Plus 30% is what the exchange is.
Roger that. Thank you. That's why you got a beard. You know what I mean? Because you got wisdom. That's why I keep mine. Because I got wisdom.
Daniel just asked the question, why the Cook Islands? Do you want to answer it or me?
You answer it because it doesn't have to be. Hold on. It doesn't have to be in the Cook Islands, but go ahead. Tell them the benefits.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be the Cook Islands, but I guess the Cook Islands is known to be a tax haven. It's known because it's outside the US jurisdiction. So, you know, if anyone in the US tries to, you know, go to the Cook Islands and challenge.
Hold on, be advised. They do not tax Australians. Americans don't, IRS don't tax fucking Australian.
No.
Zero, so it doesn't need to be there. If that's the reason. It helps Americans. I'm American, but Puerto Rico is also a tax haven. They don't pay any federal income tax.
I'm also American too.
Tupo, can you Google that real quick? Puerto Rico doesn't pay any federal income tax. Just put that in the Google. Put it on screen.
Puerto Rico.
So yeah, I mean, it doesn't have to be. Good question there, Daniel. Or Daniel, right? It was Daniel.
Yes, thank you.
Any income tax, right?
Yep. Any federal income tax. But yeah, keen to catch up with you in detail later on. There you go. I hope all of you join because, I mean, what do you got to lose? It keeps coming up on Google.
Puerto Ricans do pay federal taxes. Oh, they do pay federal taxes.
No. Wait, what? Puerto Ricans do pay federal taxes, but the majority of them do not contribute to income taxes, which are only paid to Puerto Rico as paid by Puerto Rico residents who work for the federal government. So Puerto Ricans pay federal income tax if they work for the federal government. So if they're military, they will. But if they're a citizen, they won't. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Keep looking at it. Are not required to pay federal income taxes. Does that make sense? So what are the federal taxes? Does that make sense? Tax-weary Americans find haven in Puerto Rico. Look at it. Look at it on the third link. Now let's read that because it's under our IRC, which is our Internal Revenue Code. And now watch this. So investors, traders, investment managers, and other high net worth individuals now have access to a tax haven custom made for them. And the haven is even issuing its sirens to lure those in cryptocurrency community, recently creating an advisory council specifically aimed at fostering blockchain business development on the island. So just where is this tax haven? Puerto Rico holds a unique position as an unincorporated U.S. territory under Internal Revenue Code, Section 933. Puerto Rico source income is excluded from federal income tax, In 2012, enduring economic hardship and seeking a means to boost its economy, Puerto Rico enacted two laws, Act 20 and Act 22, intended as major tax incentives to promote foreign investment. And then it goes down to more and more and more and more and more, and then it'll talk about, whatever. So if you were to launch an irrevocable trust in the form of a business trust, and it would be in Puerto Rico, tied to a virtual office, which has a physical address in some sort of service building, in which they would receive your mail and then send it to your ass on a Google email because you said so and you paid for the service. Here's your service. It's called Regus.com, REGUS.com. And then you can even use that in Australia. And you can literally teleport to different jurisdictions and build your trust anchored to that address and make a goddamn shitload of tax haven money without having to be, necessarily tied to anywhere, if that makes sense. But federal income tax in America, that's what it does. And then if you have that business, this is your tax rate. You pay 4% business tax, period. And Vanuatu, a tax haven as well? I wouldn't know. I don't even know where Vanuatu is. But here's the other thing.
Vanuatu.
Vanuatu, okay. Here's the other thing. Tupo, cut the, what you call it? Tupo, I remember you. So Tupo, cut the recording because now I'm gonna get into some real like gangster shit, some Donald Trump type gangster shit. Like they keep searching you out, but I'll go ahead. So I appreciate all of you, okay, for coming out. It means a lot to me. It means a lot to Tupo. It means a lot to L. It means a lot to Ems if she's on. Ems, you on? Where you go, Ems?
She was, but I think she's gone. Oh no, she's there.
No, I'm
Yeah,
on.
awesome.
I'm just face full of food.
Awesome.
Awesome. And if you are interested, please find your avenue of approach of whoever let you on and talk to them so that you can get with Tupo, and Tupo will take care of you. The actual official starting date of the class will be next week. I spent only 2 weeks doing presentations, and it's the second week. So I'd be,
Can I ask a question?
Yes, Brett.
Yeah, cool. So if we've got a financial avenue and I'm dealing with people like ourselves that have removed, or I say disenfranchised myself from the Vatican via, how do we do it in New Zealand? Through, internal affairs, right? But if we've got
remember that a trust, that we're going to set up an irrevocable trust in the form of a business trust, but it's going to be irrevocable. Remember that you can scribe that into existence. Right. Your job is that when you do scribe it into existence with the trust declaration, that if checked and you had to produce your declaration, that it meets all viable avenues of approach legally in its format. So I could, like for me, for example, I could take my trust, dump it on the table in a federal court in the United States and say, that's my trust. You want to look at it? Good. Motion for review of evidence under seal. Put this.
Okay, you need to put together a declaration, or can we use a memorandum of understanding?
No, you need a declaration.
It's got to have a declaration.
Yep, and it has to have a choice of law, right? And a choice of venue in case there's an issue.
Man, this is awesome.
Okay, so those are components you probably weren't aware of, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So Tupo, can you look up choice of law real quick?
Can you make it as a blind trust?
Put it on screen because it's recording. That way they can have this copy.
Can you make it as a blind trust, Raymond?
Even if it's a blind trust, you're going to need the components I tell you, because you'll see why. Choice of law. So a choice of law clause is the governing law clause. That's how you control the jurisdiction of the trust. So if you were in Australia and you put private international law, Hague Convention on Trusts, then they would allow you or honor you in the federal courts by that law rubric. So maybe you might not be susceptible by local law unless you've tampered with local interests. What does that sound like? That sounds like you're just as foreign as being an American getting charged in a New Zealand court for shit you did in America. Oh, we didn't know that these entities are like spirits that are dead, but yet they're omnipotent, and that your God power is creation. So if you create a trust indenture where you choose your law, you chose your dimensions, and they actually have laws within their dimension to acknowledge yours. Interesting. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually internalize that entire understanding in this class so that when we do choose our law, we'll make the best choice.
Yeah, right.
Ain't that some shit? And if I chose private international law, Hague Convention on Trust, I chose Hague Convention, which means that I'm choosing international treaty. And if New Zealand is a signatory to said treaty, then that means that they better fucking obey the goddamn.
We're a signatory to the gate seals. I don't know if you heard of the gate seals. Like America's part of the gate seals, China's part of the gate seals. You know, like by declaration, I think it's declaration. No, it's not. It's what are they? Governance. There were governance that was structured in Tahiti before our people arrived in New Zealand, and this is where we're going back to now. We're going back to the original government of our people, which is probably 1700s. But my question is, if I start a trust, is the trust in the public arena or private?
So be advised, the Hague Convention on Trust, private international law. What does that sound like? Private,
It
right?
sounds like it open. Sounds like it's C.
Well, it does sound like the C, but it's private. Think about this. It's private. Private international law. Hague Convention on Trust. So that means that the Hague Convention has agreed that trusts fall under private international law, not public. What's prosecuted under public? Osama bin Laden, fucking war crimes. What's under private?
Yeah,
contracts, right. Business, right? Where you get to choose your law, where you have autonomy. Does that make sense?
So you're saying that the trust act, I got it.
There you go. And so you're going to get that God power by understanding how to create these entities in such a way where your law system will get reciprocity from your public law venues. They will know, halt, we agreed as a law system, do not go there because they have autonomy.
That's right. Ouch.
Does that make sense? So in order for us to have our claim of right, that means that somebody owes the obligation to observe our action. Would you disagree with that? So if we take an action with our autonomy, then there must be some sort of public understanding that, okay, we have laws that acknowledge that they're able to behave like that, and we can't say shit. And that's where I thrive. That's exactly where I thrive. I know how to communicate that to them in such a way that if they breach, it becomes a violation. And any hesitation for you to go after them for that violation will get you killed. So we'll get into that during class. That wasn't a joke. That was literal.
Are you speaking of the corporation or the individual? Because you can take a tort, a CORT out on the individual under New Zealand constitutional law, which is governed by sort of Australia, no, not Australia, Australia's Westminster, which is what they're trying to do in our jurisdiction now, is to move the Australian law into New Zealand waters. But what we're trying to say is fuck off. You don't belong here, mate.
So you need to control their ability to be, listen, every soldier gets paid, right? For a commercial transaction of service, right?
All right.
Okay, every politician gets paid as a result of a commercial transaction for service, right?
Yeah.
Do you think?
So we can go the individual? We can go the individual, not the corporation?
No, we're going to develop a trust to handle it because, look, okay, that's a very good question. Look, let's say you did something wrong, right? Does the state have the ability to prosecute you? Yes. Right? Okay, let's yes, right? Anybody disagree with that?
No.
Okay.
Oh, sorry,
I know we don't like it. I know we don't like it, but there are operational laws, they will. Right?
Yeah.
So what if we build an irrevocable trust which stands as its own legal entity? And as its own legal entity, controlling and managing the trustees thereof, right, of the trademark, they are responsible for making sure that infringements don't occur, which makes that entity and those trustees a non-offending party.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
while they are executing on one hand, they inherently violate someone else. Let me give you the best example of that. Let's say you had a bunch of cars in the name of someone else. They came in with a warrant for you, that is your tax agency, to recover those cars. And then they find out that the title belongs to someone else. Did they take those properties illegally now? Because they have an illegal search and seizure of some sort.
Yes. Yes.
Right. So that is what's happening with your intellectual property. Only that your intellectual property is going to belong to the trust. And therefore, every time they come after you, they get what's called an IPIED, which is a intellectual property improvised explosive device. They step on it and boom.
Lovely. Sorry.
I mean, what are they going to do about it? They're the ones that operate as a state, as a dead thing. Oh, we all got faith in it. Well, good. Have faith in it and go ahead and follow it through. Oh, we're all liable. Nobody wants to be liable. Well, no, you're liable.
I love it.
That makes sense?
So are we effectively inviting them in as a partner? Are we working in a partnership?
Them in the partnership? Yeah, your only partnership is that they need to obey what the hell they wrote. And whatever they wrote, it enforces your private interest.
That's where they're okay. That's where they're accountable, right?
Yes, I love your questions, Brett. They're really direct and straight to the point. Yeah, so thank you for that. And this is how I see it: is that you know, we got to use their stuff, their rules.
Shay, go ahead. Go ahead, keep going.
Yeah, we've got to use their stuff against them. Whatever they created in their system is going to be our arsenal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. This is how crazy it is. Tubal, please put a muzzle on me because it's about to get graphic. Not really graphic sexually or anything like that. It's just graphic because it's gonna blow people's heads off.
Okay, go for gold.
Okay, so imagine we're all a bunch of Christians and we're in ISIS territory, and there's 2 Muslims there, and we're mad at our old lady. Really mad at our old lady, and we all got beards. Tubo, you gonna stop me now? And I go, man, I'm a Christian, but I really want to get at this chick. And then we're in a foreign territory. It's not Christian anymore. It's a foreign territory, right? They're not forgiving us for our sins. So we look at them and we say, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. And they go, he's Muslim now. We scribed it, we willed it, we made the decision. And then we go, yeah, this chick just cheated on me, stone her. They'll go, oh, bring her to Sharia court. And they will grab her, put a plastic bag over her head, say, suffocate her for our enjoyment. And they'll bring her to the court, and then we'll say, there goes Joe Blow. Go get him. That's how easy it is for us to get reciprocity. If that makes sense, if you're a female, please just enjoy the sadistic comedic humor that it's at will, and that it equates to just spelling it out, and they are spellbound. And you will bring them to the court of your choosing to get the damages you felt you had at will. It's literally like that. As a matter of fact, it's so literally like that my first 8 tort claims, I was still I was still looking at my documents, like as if like I was like, this shit really worked. And I'm getting paid. I'm getting paid the first 6 million, the first 10 million, the first, you know, and I'm looking at my bank account. I'm like, just walking like in a trance, like, the fuck? Because it's literally as stupid as what I said, and then it's like, and this is the cheat code, and I'm doing it, and I'm still stupefied. Like, I'm like hitting my lady, like, babe, federal court just give me another judgment. And she's like, oh, it's all good, okay, yeah, you obey the law. And I'm like, no, you don't fucking understand. Give you shaken baby syndrome real quick. Yeah, shaken baby. Okay, what? And I'm looking at her like, yo, this shit's real. This shit's real. I'm walking out into the middle of my street, like, this shit's real. No wonder they've been having two-tier justice systems. Because the guys that are writing, because the guys that are writing, did you get it, Tuba?
No, I didn't. My head is still in with those two guys and the girl. But anyway.
Listen.
Charlene got you. Charlene got you. Charlene gets you.
Yeah, because from what I gathered, this could ultimately reclaim mind, body, and soul. Yeah. And sometimes, like, just knowing that you can actually reclaim it by just scribing, as I made in the examples, just saying a couple of, it's like, that's the loophole. It's almost so stupid because you just had to know that that's what you need to say to get the judgment that you wanted because you were aggrieved. And bring them to the right venue. That's how crazy it is. It's almost like the minute that you're aware of it, the minute you should execute it. So therefore, bring it back. Knowledge is power. And they made it so stupid proof that you could fucking be like barely able to throw a rock, but be so mechanical and surgical in your mechanics. Damn it, hold on, because I've been banging my thing, that you can actually find viability. It's ridiculous. It's freaking ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And if not, go ahead and keep checking Google and you'll find out everything I'm saying will come up.
Actually, where else can they find stuff
Google.
about you? Google.
DuckDuckGo. DuckDuckGo.
Tor.
Right. Get the onion router. You know? So there you go. That's as simple as it is. It's life-changing, and
yeah,
I'm glad I fucking sat in a four-cornered room watching how banksters do it. You know, he's nothing. Oh yes, and I did go to law school. Okay, so just so you know, so I'm not just some guy just like who wants to work as a lawyer? Who wants to argue all day? When the argument's set in stone, you violated my property right, and you can show the infringement by just showing their records. Maybe a court case, dump it on the court's table. Yeah, this asshole did this because it's on their record. How much did they get paid? You know what time it is. Self-evident. You would have never responded if they never gave you the evidence to produce. Can't win an infringement case unless you prove that they infringed and prove the monetary gain. By implication or directly.
I'm just trying to see if Ben is still here, because I copied down a question that he had asked earlier, like way back. And he said, can you go into how this works in the court, how the judge will handle this? I guess you've pretty much answered that.
I did, but not directly. I know
Yeah.
exactly what he's asking.
Yeah.
Preliminary injunction. Each cease and desist with its arbitration clause and its licensing agreement must come with preliminary injunction provisions. Once 30 days are up, that cease and desist, when presented to a court to compel arbitration, will allow for that court to render an injunction because there are facts of the first case and the second case, meaning operations of the first case, that must be consolidated to the second case. And the second case takes priority because it has preliminary injunctions. The first case will usually be some sort of fact-finding process, i.e. discovery. So therefore you got room to motion for continuance to find fact. You will create that buffer and execute the cease and desist. That cease and desist will then cure, and then you will procure, as stated per that contract, your preliminary injunction as a court order coming from a court. And then they will compel the arbitration and send you to the venue of choice. That venue of choice will then adjudicate the matter, causing a stay on the first initial case because of the preliminary injunction. And then you will get your matter adjudicated, which will then cause a full injunction, post-judgment injunction, and stop the first case. And then there are certain other details within that agreement, that cease and desist with that arbitration agreement, that I'm not going to get into here because I'm not bringing up another analogy because I'm too out there right now. But let's just say that the first case goes bye-bye because every other actor within that case is subject to the injunction. That arbitration winning will cause a permanent injunction. Not a preliminary for fact-finding, but a permanent. And none of the individuals within that court case will be able to talk about it or bring up a future claim because there will also be an injunction on their mouthpieces, which I'm not going to get into right now. But we'll get into it later.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, is there any other questions? Because I'm about to wrap things up. I just did a search on injunctions, and this is the Australian.
And you're putting it into, and you're putting it in, and that's why Tupo is my fucking 1-800 Siri.
You know, it's great. It's great because everything that he says that I don't understand, which is a lot, just goes into my Google, and I have at the end of every class about 40 pages opened, and then I just go through it. But I've learned a lot, and yeah, it's awesome, and it's awesome to be able to share it with more people. And I'm really grateful because just so you guys know, you know, he teaches people in America. You know, I think we are officially your first Australian group, right? Class? Okay. And he did a really great deal because he loves this facial moko here. And so he gave me a massive discount, which I'm really, really, really grateful for. His classes,
I just think it's so cool when I meet tribal people, like people that actually like are native, like, so because my family is tribal from Puerto Rico. That's why my black ass got soft hair.
Yeah.
Which
Can I share a couple of words here to these guys in this class?
Yeah, absolutely, Paul.
Look, I've been here for a couple of hours with you guys, and I've listened to a lot of you guys, and you've got really great pockets of information. And we've all learned things that add value for where we are at the moment. And it's really hard, you know, as simple as Raymond is talking, I understand what he is saying, but when I sort of try and summarize it, I look at it kind of this way. Now, instead of, you know, being a defendant in a court case and you on your back feet and being concerned about what's going on, this process turns everything around where they become the defendants. but you have protection around you in such a way as where it's well, we call it a wall. We call it a wall, you know, whereas if built correctly, it's unbreakable. And there's, you know, as simple as that is what I've just said, that really is a game changer. It really is.
And it's profound in execution, how the implications.
Yeah. And I'm not saying other things don't work, but what you know, because other things have value too. But you know, one of the biggest things I saw in this space was you're not the defendant when you go through this process. They are.
They become defendants by making you a defendant inherently.
You know, how I would normally sort of look at it, where if I, you know, got in trouble with the police, you know, I'd be the defendant sort of thing. But in this process, as far as protecting yourself, it sort of ends up the other way around, where they're the ones, you know, who've got to really sort of, well, own their shit, really, you know. And if you've built your wall correctly and done the things properly, there's no escaping for them, you know. So there's a certain level of certainty that can be created here. That I've seen lots of other processes, but I can honestly not say, me personally, that I've seen something that's come with complete certainty. You know, there's a sort of a value there about that, you know. There's a value about that, but I can only talk it, but if you go through this, you'll feel it and understand it, because, you know, I'm only new to this, but you'll get it, you know. And thank you everybody for sharing.
Paul, that was fucking heart. That was heartfelt, man. Thank you. Yeah, because that's exactly it. We're only dealing with certainties, and I'm glad that you gave your testimony as a student that's already engaged. And thank you too, Paul, for bringing on some of the students, because they can give a social confirmation of what's going on, and like he said, he's been through processes, but he can see the delineation, like he can see the difference on what, and it sounds so simple, but he can see the delineation of how simple I might be talking, but the fact that once investigated, because he doesn't get it all at the first shot, but once investigated, it comes up proof positive that it's that simple. And that's what I was trying to convey before. So now you guys have social confirmation, and Tupa would have never brought you guys on, or L, if they didn't spend some time to see that I was either consistent, meaning what I'm saying, it coming up week after week, time after time, therefore building that confidence in how this process is executed and what the difference between this process is versus other processes where people are just saying this should work like this. I mean, if you can find it on an open source of Google, you will be able to go ahead and refer to it till kingdom come, till the second coming of Christ. And you'll be able to just refer to it and even see if the process is still applicable with time, because sometimes your high courts or Supreme Courts might adjudicate a topic of that matter and change the vernacular of how it should be executed. And so therefore it leaves still foundation for growth. So thank you, Paul. If anybody is interested, because it's 1:04 a.m. my time, but it's whatever time it is for you, just get with your respective inviter, or there we go.
Yeah, I just put the
it's 6 months, and it's going to be one hell of a ride.
Awesome. Well, let me just put this into perspective. We're not asking 30 to 50,000 USD to do this course.
That's just for the trust.
Yeah, that's just
not
for
all the other stuff.
What you're going to do is you're going to have the documents for your trust, as well as a cease and desist document, which is just as important. And you're going to have training on how to set it up and execute it. One team, one mind. What is it? one mission.
One team, one fight, one mind, any weapon. That's
Any
how trustees should operate.
That's it. So yeah, the price is in the chat. I've got my email there, but get back to whoever you know, whoever sent you the link, and if you need to contact me, then that's my email, and I can walk you through how to get started. And we start next Sunday. So next Sunday and every Sunday, 4 p.m. till around about 6 p.m. But it all depends on your energy. You know, sometimes we've gone over because just
Please give me a headache. Please run your mouths and talk a lot, because I know me and Tupa, we do like 2 hours, but just run your mouth. I'm here. I enjoy talking to you guys and making sure that you go, because that's my job. So, and what you call it, one more thing. The sooner you get joined, like if some of you say, oh God, yes, it will cover equity law. Absolutely. Intellectual property rights, equity law, what you call it, international law, arbitration, treaties. It will cover freaking what you call it, contract drafting. It will take care of licensing agreement, intellectual property control and preservation, federal court fucking pleadings, in arbitration pleadings. It will cover goddamn what you call it, how to do business with the United States, understanding international common law between the English states. It will freaking tell you how to not wear a fucking face diaper when you get goddamn COVID. Oh shit, monkeypox. Everybody dog cover, fucking whatever. China invaded, and even then, the Americans will still be over the shores of Australia, bombing the fuck out of all targets and adversaries. And that I can, I know, because I went 2 times to war. For God, can we get into Australia unjabbed? Listen, you don't have. Do you have to do like a declaration of sovereignty or claim? No, you do not. Remember, we're using their rules. So it's going to be what's good for business. You're going to learn how to do business at a whole different level. And we're going to get into different types of business, like foundations and corporate and all that stuff during the course. But here's the other thing. The sooner you get in, the sooner you get the stuff. So that means you get the documents and the, you know what I mean? And then you can look at it. I mean, you know, and if you're willing to come through, then God bless you, man, because as time goes on, you'll know that there's probably the best goddamn decision you ever made. Okay? So that's what I got, and that's all I got.
yeah,
Tupo,
that's
you look
what
like me or I look like you?
No, you don't look like me.
Do I look, am I looking like you right?
No, no.
Nah.
But yeah, just really want to thank everyone for coming. Thanks for your participation, your engagement, some really great questions. And I know that those that couldn't make it will get the recording as well. I've got everybody's email, so I'll email it out to you. If by any chance I do miss you for any reason, I do have a YouTube channel, which is Freedom Reclaiming Sovereigns. So if you want to search on there, you'll find some links to other classes and other videos that we've done with Raymond. But I'll be posting this up there. And Raymond also has a YouTube channel. It is Smooth Operation of Law. Smooth Operation of Law.
All together.
All together. So if you want to check that out, check some other recordings. But yeah, thanks so much for coming. My family are pulling at me to go and do something with them, probably cook dinner. So I really want to thank everyone, and yeah, we'll see you again soon. Ka kite.
All right. Okay, kia ora, or what do I say? Kia ora, or what do I say?
Ka kite.
Taki.
Ta kite.
Ka. Ka, like as in a
Ka tike.
key.
Yeah, ka.
Ka
tike.
key. We'll work on that, Raymond. We'll work on it.
Ka kite. Okay, bye. Cook dinner. Bye. Have a good time. Bye.
Bye.
Not too well.
Bye. All right.